Welcome to the podcast, The Adventures and Times of J.R. Hendrick. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and get started. This episode is called The Final Victory Tour, Page 1. Okay. Jimmy's going to read it. 2:55 a.m. It's been a sleepless night for JR, and since he can't sleep, he gets a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper and goes downstairs to the mansion library, turning the light on. And so, some electric candles turn on. He gets the issue of the magazine that he had gotten in Virginia, he being in Philadelphia, and starts reading it. He knows that Claude is leaving Sunday. Which means late that afternoon they would have to check out of the mansion and go into a superb Hilton hotel room Claude had picked for them. At 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, JR and Ken wake up. They decide to talk a little bit, read scripture, then head to the steakhouse. Jim had set up a private room for them. Meanwhile, in Dallas, JR's second wife, Sarah Bocchino, is awakened by her powerful mother, Mary Bocchino. Mary was trying to restore her marriage to James Bocchino. Sarah's wealthy and powerful computer software mogul father who works for Microsoft. 6:55 a.m. Central Standard Time. At Springfield, Jim leaves the house to check on a rig in Midkiff that is freshly built up. Free real estate from a friend of his in the Texas Railroad Commission. At 6 a.m. No, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in Philadelphia. Outside Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Ken gets out of the car when his phone rings. Crystal, how's life in Odessa? Kenny, I have missed you so much. Look, I registered at UTVB. JR sent me a copy of your schedule while you were in Virginia Beach. Your father, how is he treating you? He's out on business. Mom took me clothes shopping yesterday. Next week, we go school supply shopping. I'll see you soon. Ken walks in at the restaurant, leaving JR in the car to talk briefly on the phone with Karen Crowder. Ken picks up the phone once he gets to the reserved back room and calls Brad. Well, guess we eager beavers are ready, Brad said. Can we hope that you and JR can contain yourselves? I'm going to miss all the fun we had, Ken said. Take a few tours, and we know in 6 days the tour is over. Yes, it will. And there's more fun with you guys. Dave Smith entered the room. And you, David, don't you already miss the summer hours? Ken said. I've been working at a bank this month. Ken sits down in the chair after ordering some hot chocolate. You ain't seen nothing yet. You know, in prep school a few years back, your old bunkmate, JR, we became close friends. Yeah, you spent a few weekends with us at Tech, Ben said. What's up? JR said, walking in. Hey, we were just talking about you, Ken said. Lord knows, we have years to talk. You know, we both like to talk. I have your back, JR. You know that. JR hugs Ken. Thank you. No, man, thank you. If it weren't for you, the boys at Reese Prep wouldn't hang, and I wouldn't have had a girl like Crystal. Enough, Brad said. Okay, this is it. I got the itinerary from your dad, and the tour is historic. But what can I say? You wanted it. The 15th, you take a limousine with Karen Kreider. Go to historic St. George Methodist. The Reverend William Child is doing a grand revival service there in Philadelphia, and I figured you'd enjoy it. Once you're done, Dave's father got us another limousine that will take you back to the hotel that you're going to check into, and you call me when you get back to the mansion. The 19th, we go to Old Donation Episcopal Church, where JR talks to the in-staff deacon. Sounds fun, JR said. Ugh, Ken said. The other guys will be touring JR. You're playing diplomacy politically for your father, Brad said. I feel sorry for you, Ken said. For a guy who transferred to Texas Tech University, he feels bad about breaking from the identity of his father's politics. Okay, Brad said. Okay, this is the tour. We tour a historic church in Philadelphia, return to Virginia Beach, and go on the political route. For the political part, JR has to go to the Franklin Institute. My mother knows a guy there who can talk to you, JR. But take notes for when you get back from Virginia Beach. You're going using JR's car. Someone can drive JR there. After that, we take a helicopter flight out to Chesapeake Bay. Now, JR, you need to get in the car with Dave and go to the rendezvous point to get on the chopper. JR will have to find a way to get some of those notes to his father and keep a copy of his notes on the hard drive. Now, when it comes to the tour on Sunday, JR's dad has the limousine which will be outside the Hilton Hotel where JR and Ken will be. JR has to put down a deposit of $1,900 ETA worldwide transportation. Once you get back from revival, we've arranged a limo to park near the church. We go back to the mansion and celebrate. Celebrate, Dave said happily. Will be a chance to talk about what happens before JR and Ken have to leave the mansion. Tour is the easy part. Please, Dave said. One last thing. Reverend Child is going with you guys in the limo so we can talk to JR for a bit, Brett said. Happy, happy, joy, joy, Kim said. Great job, JR said. Okay, Sunday, Karen will meet you boys at Independence Hall in the limo. JR will have his car parked at the Hilton and will drive there. JR will sit next to Karen. You go to the revival. Exchange a few pleasantries with the Reverend before getting in the limo so you can take him back to the mansion. They have steak, eggs, and orange juice for breakfast. So you guys divide and conquer, Brad said. See you when I get back, Bradley, Ken teased, hanging up the phone. Listen, Ken, I know you have problems with Brad, but let's try to enjoy the Grand Tour Sunday and have a good time. At 8:30 a.m., JR and Ken get into the rental car driven by Claude. They go to ETA Worldwide Transit. They arrived at the limo service, and JR walks toward the front desk. A man is on the cell phone talking to his wife. Yeah, my shift ends at 3. You know? Yeah, Dr. Covey is going to be speaking in Electra Hall at Wheeler, at Wharton tonight. Principal Center Leadership? I got a customer. I got to go, the man said, putting down his phone. Hey, wait a minute. You're Jim Hendrick's son. Yeah, that's right. J.R. Hendrick, J.R. said. Your daddy used to call me in advance, give his credit card for the $1,900 and fly from Washington to Philadelphia to see his little Debbie almost every other weekend when he was at the FTC. JR hands the man at the counter the $1,900. Hey, have a good day. Don't spend too much of that on management. At 11:30 a.m., back at the mansion, JR and Ken are playing Monopoly. Claude is on the phone talking to JR's father, Jim, about the oil rig in Midland. Unfortunately, the rigs in Midland and Midland was going to have to be shut down because the mast and monkey board was badly damaged. 3 p.m. JR and Ken are engrossed in the game of 10,000. Ken had won Monopoly, so JR is hoping to win 10,000. By 5 p.m., JR and Ken have manwich for dinner. Tonight, they would take it easy. Tomorrow, they wanted to visit Christ Church in Philadelphia. 6:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Back at Swainfield, Jim is drowning his sorrows by drinking. Tomorrow, he would fly to Nacogdoches to check out another new rig. He also had another meeting of the Texas Railroad Commission. By 7:25 p.m. Central Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time, JR won the game of 10,000. And then